Hey guys, I'm back. I have to be quiet because it's really late at night and it echoes in here. And since I'm in an apartment building, I don't want to wake people up. But I want to give you an update because I haven't made a video in like a little bit now. So I just want to say that I've been thinking about a lot of things and I haven't been completely honest, but only because I'm not being completely honest with myself. I keep saying, oh, I'm going to go to the doctors and do this test and do that test. And the truth is, when I think about it, I'm not going. Um, I'm going to go for a few things, like have to do the chest x-ray, I might do the upper GI, probably do the stress test. But the real problem isn't, I have health insurance. But if any of you have been following me for a long time, you know that I have seen 14 primary care doctors, 3 emergency room visits. I had surgery. I've had a cardiologist, um, a psychologist, and I was ignored. And I know what's wrong with me anyway. At least I know part of what's wrong with me. I'm not stupid. And I research a lot of things. And I think sometimes I play dumb online. Like, oh, I don't know what's wrong. But I really know what's wrong. I know what's going on with my body. I've researched enough. I've been reading, even a decade before I got sick. So I'm kind of familiar with medical terminology. I'm familiar with diseases. And I don't know how to say it. It's just, I'm done with dealing with the mainstream medical community. Does that mean I won't get an integrative doctor? No, it doesn't. If I can find a doctor that's integrative that deals with insurance that I have, then yes, I would go. And I've thought about my mother who did mainstream medicine when she had cancer and she died. But then I also have my friend Yvonne who died, who did alternative medicine until it wasn't working, and then she went to mainstream medicine, and then she also died. But mostly it was probably the alternative medicine and the waiting, that killed her. I've spent a very long time reading a lot of books on alternative medicine and both mainstream medicine. And I got to be honest, let's say I had an endoscopy and they said you have Crohn's disease, or if I had the colonoscopy and they said you have ulcerative colitis, which I probably have one of those. I really probably do. I would be pretty sure that I did. I mean, I predicted my lung thing 2 years before I had the surgery. I knew I had the appendicitis like 36 hours before I even went to the hospital. I mean, like I said, I'm not stupid. I just kind of play stupid sometimes just to, not have people lecture me about what's going on. And the truth of the matter is that every drug I take long term makes me freaking sick. And if they came to me and said, well, you have Crohn's and you just need to take this pill for the next 3 years or for the rest of your life, I'd be happy with getting the diagnosis just so I know what I have, but the truth of the matter is I wouldn't take the drug. And if I did, it'd be a very short time. Same thing with ulcerative colitis. Same thing with my heart. It's like, a lot of people, and I haven't scratched it off my list, but a lot of people are like, oh, you should take a beta blocker. Okay, that's fine. What am I covering? Why is my heart beating this fast? Not, here, it's beating fast, take a pill. Just like, oh, I have heartburn, here, take a pill. Why do I have heartburn? And I'm smart enough now to know that the human body breaks down, and as it breaks down, everyone manifests differently, and you get different diseases. So I might have these problems, you might have these. I was already damaged by drugs. I was damaged by Xanax, and I have had withdrawal from Paxil in the past. Paxil completely messed me up during the benzo withdrawal when I tried it then. I was messed up, obviously, from Xanax. Like I said, I have take antibiotics. I get heart palpitations. I get diarrhea. I take PPI drugs like Prevacid and Nexium, and I get cramps so bad that I almost pass out. And all I hear from doctors is, well, you got to take something. But every something they're giving me is making me sick. And I don't buy it anymore. I don't trust them. And that's why I keep saying, oh, I'll go to the doctor. And I mean it when I say it. I always meant it because I kept thinking I've got to do something. But the something that I want to do is not with them. I just don't believe them. I don't trust them. I don't feel safe with them. It's not even just anxiety, which there's a great deal of anxiety going to a doctor. But the anxiety has been created by the treatment that I've gotten from doctors. And so there's things I'll pick and choose to do when I get around to it, when I feel it's a necessity. But other than that, I don't even care. And, I have mentioned in several of my videos, at least a while back, the whole better be safe than sorry, which I hate. I hate that as much as when you apply for a job, it's like looking for a team player. Looking for a team player, that's fucking cheesy. No, like I'm not anything, there's nothing about me that had anything to do with that. I am so not even mainstream. It's, I don't know the word for it. I hate mainstream shit. It's boring, it's pathetic, it's corny, it bothers me. And I've tortured myself enough. And what I haven't done is, we all have that little voice inside of our head, just like the little voice told me, hey, you have a fever and your right side's hurting, you have appendicitis, you better get to a hospital, that shit's gonna rupture. I took myself. Just like when I couldn't breathe properly, I had a lot of lung pain, I kept going doctor to doctor to doctor until, it was almost too late because they don't pay attention to me anyway. So, what's the point? And I get emails online like, oh, there's nothing wrong with you. It's like, the point is I'm going to start, and it's almost a new year. That little voice inside your head that tells you what you should be doing, that you ignore, like, eat this, don't do this, don't sleep with that person. A lot of us ignore it, and I'm tired of ignoring it. I think it has never led me astray, and I simply think I should be listening to it more often, and it is telling me at this point, with every fiber of my being, not to do certain tests. And that will put a lot of people up in arms, like family members, people who watch me. Oh, you don't want help. No, that's not true. I think that I need a different kind of help, and I think that I am way more intelligent than a lot of people. I think that I am more than capable of controlling certain things that other people maybe aren't. And I am not willing to damage myself again like I did before. And going back to my mother and my friend Yvonne who died, they both died. And let's suppose even my mother had lived. I liked Yvonne's route better. Even though she's dead, I like her route better. Up until the very end, she was going all over the place. Granted, it's not the same thing I would have done. I don't think there was enough food involvement, and I believe that, food is medicine, as do a lot of people, but that wasn't her route. She was just doing different things, which I won't get into, but she was more free and more alive during her cancer than my mother ever was during mainstream treatments. My mother shuffled around, had diarrhea, was vomiting, was losing weight, had the minor stroke, and then eventually the massive stroke that killed her. The cancer spread. Yvonne went to Mexico, Arizona, Texas, back to San Francisco where she lives, spent time with her son, went swimming, went to the beach, went to metaphysical people, all of which for me is not a cure. That was her path. But if I had to pick my mother's path or Yvonne's path, both ending in death, I pick Yvonne's. Hands down, I pick Yvonne's. My mother struggled to go to my nephew's wedding. She went there and she had to wear a diaper, and she couldn't stay for the whole thing because she was shitting her pants. Yvonne was bleeding from her uterus. That's where her cancer was. And when the bleeding got bad enough, that's what finally scared her, and she sought mainstream treatment. But it still ended the same way, death. And I'm not saying I think I have cancer, because that's not a belief that I have. It crosses my mind, as it crosses anyone, who's sick. But I'm pretty sure that what I have is POTS, which is postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. And if it's not that, it's some other form of dysautonomia. I'm aware of that. I'm also aware that there's no freaking doctor in my area that even knows what that is. And I'm not in a position to travel. I have a somewhat of a support system, but not a support system where I can travel and where I can be that sick and where I can pay for hotels and pay for these doctors out of state if my health insurance doesn't cover it. And even if they do, I don't want to have a tilt table test, pass out on the freaking table, doctors being insensitive about it, and then have Keith yelling at me all the way home that I can't drive and he has no license. I'm just not doing it. I'm not doing any of it anymore. I'm tired of doing that. So I think where this 100 days so far has led me is to the realization that I'm lying to myself. I'm saying I'm going to do certain things when I know damn well that I'm not, and I have no intention upon doing that. I'm doing it to ease my own conscience conscience because, oh, what if I drop dead 3 weeks from now? Then everyone will be like, oh, he should have. No, fuck that. I could drop dead during mainstream treatment. Everyone just applaud me. It's stupid. I mean, we're all so brainwashed anyway. And I really believe as I approach more of a raw food diet, which is the direction I'm going, I'm still in the vegan diet, and it's not perfect. And, have I, done things where I caught myself where I didn't realize something wasn't vegan? Of course, I'm new to this. It's just something I'm doing. Am I exercising? No, I did it like one freaking day for 38 minutes. Am I lazy? Hell yes. Just like all of us, I'm lazy. And I'm trying to get myself out of this rut. And I'm trying to sleep better. And I'm trying to eat better. And I'm trying to do a lot of things. But that's where my mind is pulling me to that. And not to the mainstream medicine. It's just not where I'm going. It's not where I want to be. It's not what I trust. I don't want them touching me. I don't want to be poked anymore. I don't want lectures from doctors who half the time, because I've read so much, and if you have too, they're spouting bullshit off to you. They don't even know what the hell they're talking about. And I watch people online where the doctors are telling them things. I'm thinking, and I don't comment, to be respectful, but I'm just thinking, your doctor's an idiot. Switch doctors. Because there are some good doctors out there. There's some very caring doctors out there. I lucked out with a few, but in general, I don't. And I just don't want to deal with them. And I know it's a route that is not usually taken by people. Usually everyone, God, I almost said everyone had my symptoms, they running to the ER. But I've run to the ER. I've talked to these people. I've had the same test over and over. Let's do a CBC. Have you checked your thyroid? It's all such bullshit. I'm done. And so I just want to see how far I can get myself first. Like I said, I'm still going to do a few things, but there's no rush. Look, I'm not ever in a rush to get to a dentist. I hate going to the dentist, as a lot of you. But I'll tell you what, when my tooth hurt enough, I got a freaking root canal. I know when it's time. And, everyone's like, oh, you want to catch things early. Whatever. I don't even care anymore. I have gotten that far where I don't care. If I end up dying, then I end up dying. And if I don't end up dying, great. It's a nice place to be, actually, because I just don't care. And it doesn't mean I'm suicidal, it just means I don't care. Would I like to live more than dying? Of course, I want to live. My goal is to be 100 years old, and if I don't get to 100, I feel like I've lost some, ooh, camera blurry. But I feel like I've lost some major... Why is this blurry? There. Alright. I feel like I've lost some major game if I don't get to 100 years old, but that's just in my head. I mean, people say all the time, your mother died young. She was only 68 or 67. I forget how old she even was. But we're all going to be dead anyway. And to me, she didn't die young. She was my mom, and I've had her for 30 plus years. And, it doesn't mean I'd be reckless with my health. It doesn't mean I wouldn't do things. But I'm just tired of being so proactive that I'm being stared at. And I'm tired of emails that I get, or have you done this yet? And it's my own fault, because I'm the one saying, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it, and I'm not doing it. And so I tell you all, I'm not doing it. I'm not going to sit there and take drugs for the rest of my life. It's not my goal. I don't think it's healthy. I don't agree with anyone taking drugs for the rest of their life unless it's something that can't be fixed, period. But when I say not be fixed, I mean not just because you don't know it can be fixed and because your doctor says it can't be fixed. I mean, like, you actually looked into it and something structural in your system that cannot be fixed, and that your own immune system can't take care of, and that there's no spontaneous remissions from it. There's not, all this stuff. I can't even explain it, but I hope that some people understand what I'm saying, because I'm just not going to do it anymore. That is the main thing. I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm not going to torture myself. I'm not going to push myself to do anything. I'm going to eat the way I want to eat, and if people have problems with the way I eat, that's their problem. If people have the, problems with how I'm handling my health, you're not living in my body, so you're not having to deal with it anyway. So I don't care. And it's not to be mean, because there is compassionate people, but it's just simply, I don't fully think anyone understands what I've gone through in my life, and how could you, because you're not me. But, I have a lot of videos out there, people. Watch them. There's a progression to what's been going on, and the way that I have wrote about in my blog and the way I've made these videos has told a story, and the story all along was to bring you on a journey with me. And so if you're just watching a few here and there, you don't have the story. And so you have no right to email me and lecture me or be condescending to me. And I'm not as dumb as you guys think. You know, I tone it down because I don't want to seem superior or just part of the gang. But the truth is, I know a hell of a lot. And I think that a lot of times I'm smarter than a lot of people. And that's not a judgment, it's just the truth. I live it. I know. I bring things up to people, and they have no freaking clue what I'm talking about, whether it's a doctor, psychiatrist, a friend. And I'm going to start trusting myself. If my own personal self tells me to go do a test, knowing the risks, if the internal me says to do that, I'll do it. If I start puking blood up all over the place and I'm hemorrhaging and it won't stop, I'll call an ambulance. But as of now, I don't care. I can do this myself. I know I can do this myself. I believe in myself enough to know that I can minimize this. I don't care what it is anymore. I can stop it, and I know it. I just have to apply myself, which I have not been doing, and what a lot of us don't do. We all know that if we need to lose weight, or if we need to stop doing drugs, or whatever your problem is, you know deep and down inside what you have to do. You're just not doing it. Because you're like me. You're crazy. And you're lazy. But that's where I am now, and that's what I plan on doing. So from now on, if I do something medically, I'll record it. And if I don't, I'm going to show you my diet, and I'm going to show you the exercise I start, and I'm going to start posting things on Facebook that's probably going to piss some people off, and I don't care. I kind of stopped caring about that before, but now it's going in a different direction. It's not so much ha-ha funny stuff, it's more in your face about certain diets. And maybe I won't be for you anymore. Maybe you wanted me to be the poor benzo guy trapped in the benzo withdrawal, or you wanted me to be the agoraphobic. But I don't fit in a box, and I'm not someone who's going to shove myself in a box. I have multiple levels to my personality and to myself. I have a thought process. I know what I'm doing. It sucks a lot of times. I know a lot of people don't believe what I go through, and I don't care. Because I know it's true. I have seen message boards even with the whole benzo withdrawal. Oh, he's a Scientologist. He never went through it. I did. And no one can take that away from me. Everything I've gone through in my life, no one can take away from me. And I can choose to respond to things that are said. And I think I've done a good job with that, because I used to lash back at people, and now I can read it. I can get an email that's hateful, a comment that I don't agree with. I just don't approve it. And I don't even write back. I don't care. On a level I care, like anybody, but I don't care enough to reply. Because, as one of my friends says online, it's none of my business what you think about me. And I thought about that, and that's really true. What you think about me is none of my business. So this is the direction I'm going, and I really hope that a lot of you continue to watch. If I drop dead, I was wrong. Say a prayer for me. If I live, great, you know? So that's just where I am. And I don't even think I'm going to drop dead. I think that maybe eventually, if it doesn't work what I want to do, I will just simply do what everyone wants me to do now. Go to mainstream medical doctors. But I'd rather be in better shape before I do. And I'm not in good shape. And I don't feel comfortable having certain things done. And because I don't feel comfortable with it, I'm just not going to do it. That's just it. So I think there's going to be a transition in my channel from this point on. You're going to see a lot more different types of videos and different concepts and different belief systems that I might have that you don't agree with, and that's okay. But I'm not going to change myself for you. I'm not going to fit in your box. I'm not going to be lectured to. Just get you blocked. I'm not interested. I am just going to do me. And I think doing me is one of the better choices that I can possibly pick, because I'm tired of following everyone else's advice outside of what my own personal inside voice says for me to do. So that's just where I am right now. And I'll try to not go as long without another video. Definitely want to try to keep up with it. It's just the holidays came, and I don't even do holidays, but keep us off, and we're getting rid of our cable in a couple days, and just life. but I will definitely update you again. And so try to be compassionate with me. Listen to what I have to say. You don't have to agree, but if you don't agree, just be silent because I know what I'm doing. All right? Bye. Medicine. And I got to be honest. Let's say I had an endoscopy and they said you have Crohn's disease, or if I had the colonoscopy and they said you have ulcerative colitis, which I probably have one of those. I really probably do. I would be pretty sure that I did. I mean, I predicted my lung thing 2 years before I had the surgery. I knew I had the appendicitis like 36 hours before I even went to the hospital. I mean, like I said, I'm not stupid. I just kind of play stupid sometimes just to, not have people lecture me about what's going on. And the truth of the matter, I was ignored. And I know what's wrong with me anyway. At least I know part of what's wrong with me. I'm not stupid. And I research a lot of things. And I think sometimes I play dumb online. Like, oh, I don't know what's wrong. But I really know what's wrong. I know what's going on with my body. I've researched enough. I've been reading, even a decade before I got sick. So I'm kind of familiar with medical terminology. I'm familiar with diseases. I don't know how to say it. It's just, I'm done with dealing with the mainstream medical community. Does that mean I won't get an integrative doctor? No, it doesn't. If I can find a doctor that's integrative that deals with insurance that I have, then yes, I would go. And I've thought about my mother who did mainstream medicine when she had cancer and she died. But then I also have my friend Yvonne who died, who did alternative medicine until it wasn't working, and then she went to mainstream medicine and then she also died. But mostly it was probably the alternative medicine and the waiting, that killed her. I've spent a very long time reading a lot of books on alternative medicine and both mainstream. Chest X-ray, I might do the upper GI, probably do the stress test. But the real problem isn't, I have health insurance, but if any of you have been following me for a long time, you know that I have seen 14 primary care doctors, 3 emergency room visits. I had surgery. I've had a cardiologist, a psychologist, and hey guys, I'm back. I have to be quiet because it's really late at night and it echoes in here. And since I'm in an apartment building, I don't want to wake people up. But I want to give you an update because I haven't made a video in like a little bit now. So I just wanted to say that I've been thinking about a lot of things and I haven't been completely honest, but only because I'm not being completely honest with myself. I keep saying, oh, I'm going to go to the doctors and do this test and do that test. And the truth is, when I think about it, I'm not going. I'm going to go for a few things, like have to do the